Good morning. Morning. Welcome. We've made it. It's Friday. The weekend is fast approaching. For those of us who do Monday to Friday work anyway, if I've just upset those of you who do weekend shifts, I do apologize. But here we are. It is your morning rabble on Friday, the 27th of September. We have got a few things to talk about, and Martin is not here today. Martin is, well, he is here, but he's not here. He's having a rest. Bless him. He's a busy man now that he's taken this full time. That's right, you heard it again. Just because he's not here doesn't mean that won't get mentioned. We are full time at the Rabble now, so we are aiming to push this out to as many people as possible. So don't forget to like this today. And you know how it works. The more likes you put in, the quicker we'll shut up about likes. So we're going to aim to try and get that like total up as high and as quickly as possible. I don't want to do too good because otherwise you might have me doing this by myself more often. So just we want to get them up there though. There are enough of you that watch, so get that like in. You know how to do it. That little thumbs up sign on the side there. I will have somebody come in a second to help me out today, so that I'm not on my own all the way through. Because who wants to look at this for the next hour all by itself? As much as I am used to doing this on other platforms, because I do like to Twitch as well. No Martin kills this show. What do you mean no Martin kills the show? I'm not having that, Lyndon. We've all got our little jobs and roles to play. I mean, Martin's probably going to agree in the background that no Martin kills the show. Yeah, thumbs up from the boss who's in and out. So we do have your question of the day as always. And we've been up and down and changed about and all the rest of it. But we are going to go with this today. And what is your dream job? I'm still thinking. I can't think about what my dream job is. But we'll keep that on screen for the time being. But I don't know what my dream job is at the moment. So if you could do the bits and shove in what your dream job is in the comments. We'll bring them up as we get them. And morning, Mel. You've missed an eye. I'm only seeing out of one eye there. But all good. Morning. So that's your question of the day. What is your dream job? We want to get those likes up as quickly as possible. So if we can keep an eye on that as well. And I am going to now bring in my fellow podder for today. I am going to bring in Brian. He's had a little couple of extra minutes to think about what his dream job is. So let's bring him in. Hello, mate. How are you doing?
Very good. All positive today. Obviously, speak about last night. Obviously, tomorrow, Sunday's game as well. We'll speak about that. But it's all positive today, and looking forward to it.
Oh, there's a lot of crackling going on with you, mate. I don't know what that is, whether you're touching your mic or not. I can hear a lot of crackling going on. Just like TNT Sports last night when they were doing the commentary with the static that kept coming up. Test straight in there with he's doing his dream job. Just finished working for Sony and the new Francis Ford Coppola movie. How's that for name dropping? Oh, wow. If you know it, do it. If you know. See, because the only name drop I could do is that I used to work with Chris Martin a long time ago. He wouldn't recognize me now, obviously, but yeah, I used to work with him. Beep Bop Boop, he's as well has got his. He would like to be a CEO of a Hollywood studio. That sounds like a lot of stress, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, is that a job that you fancy? CEO of a Hollywood studio?
Wouldn't be too bad, would it? Yeah, that would be pretty decent. You would certainly meet all the right people, that's for sure.
Yeah. Have you got an idea of what your dream job would be, Brian?
I don't know. I mean, I think the obvious one's a sportsman of some form, but I mean that would only last for, a short sort of career. So you'd have to go sort of outside that. I'd like to be like a travel blogger or something. Just travel the world and speak about where you've been and how good it is or how bad it is. That'd be pretty decent. I mean, getting paid to go around the world and speak about different places, that'd be all right, wouldn't it?
It would be. Not so much a travel blogger, but I could help facilitate that, but not as a travel blogger. Just you'd know what I do behind the scenes stuff. And we've also got James Fowler, who's done mine as a fireman. I work for the other side of the emergency services. James, I used to work for the ambulance service, and I wouldn't have traded jobs with any fireman for the world. As much as we
Tough job, that.
Yeah, as much as we all used to take the mick out of each other, you would not catch me running into a burning building. Not a chance. But yeah, so fair play to you for that one. I don't know. I don't know what my dream job would be. I know I'm in the process of kind of trying to work within the court system, but not as like a barrister or anything like that. I mean, I haven't got the time or wherewithal to do another 7 years of education. But yeah, I am trying to find my way into the court system somewhat. And it's the coroner's court I want to work in for some reason. I'm just molded like that.
I'd love to be the Justice Secretary.
There you go. He's found it. His dream.
I'll tell you what. I would sort this place out. Believe me. There wouldn't be any half roads. It would just be the full maximum sentence, regardless.
You have gone from traveling the world to sorting everybody. So basically, you're taking a gap year.
Yeah.
and then you're coming back to be Justice Secretary.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not a problem. So shall we? Beep Bop Beep's coming with the second one, by the way.
Boxing Bros second, yeah.
Michael, Michelle, however we say your name, I'm not bringing that up. That's just not happening. We've got a couple of other ones. We've got the photographer from Blue Mac 3398, or just Blue Mac if you like. I'll keep a couple more for later on. I only bring that one up because I quite like photography. That was what I went to college for, believe it or not. I ended up doing emergency services. So yeah, it would be a great job. It would be. So let's get on to last night, shall we? If someone keeps an eye on those likes as well for me, so I can see how many there is, because I can't seem to find it on mine. So let's talk about last night then, Brian. I mean, I was on the post-match last night, and we did our Martin himself, just to bring in Martin to it. He is doing his dream job. This is his dream job, running the podcast full time. Yeah. So he's there. He's made it. Getting a shake of the head. But yeah, so last night I was on the post match last night, so I've had a lot of my views. I'll still talk about it, but from your point of view, because you went on there last night, I'm assuming you watched it in the comfort of your own home and not over there in Malmo, and made a speedy return today. What did you make of the game overall last night?
You know, I think I said it on the Monday pod. I was quite positive about last night. I was looking forward to it in the sense that we play a lot better away from home. We seem to, I don't know, we just seem to play. We just seem to get it in Europe away from home, and I don't know why. And I was really, I was sure we were going to get something. I wasn't saying we were going to win. I felt we could get something. I didn't think that Malmo were totally out with our realms of beating or getting something off them. But I'll tell you what, every man on that pitch yesterday was tremendous. They all put a shift in. Defensively, I thought we were very good. Even I think we limited Malmo to very, very little. I think all the plaudits usually go to the attacking sort of element because you score goals. But I think keeping a clean sheet away from home in Europe is important as well. It's everything's going away in Europe is an easy thing, but it's not. You can go to some far-flung places nowadays where you think it's pretty easy and it's very difficult. So I think even the clean sheet was important because obviously Proper's been under a bit of pressure recently, for some of his performances. We had the young fullback whose name I'm not going to mention because I'm not wanting to butcher it. So, even he was flung in and everybody was getting a bit sort of worried and angst about that. But, fair play to that young kid for coming in for his first start and, contributing to the clean sheet. It'll give the defence a big confidence as well because, it's going out, as I said before, going away home in Europe is not an easy thing, and winning and keeping a clean sheet is very, very important. So that'll be a big boost. So I would like to give kudos to the defence because obviously they've came under a bit of scrutiny recently, and I'd like to give them a bit of credit where it's due.
Yeah, it was an all-round great performance. I mean, I didn't get to see the start, the first sort of 15, 20 minutes. I was still getting back from Cambridge. I did have it on in the car, and slightly badly as well by being on the dashboard, and I could see it, but I was ignoring it to the best point. Obviously, it was quite slow driving back, and I did see the opening goal, and then I thought, you know what, I need to concentrate a little bit more here. But that's what we've been doing. We've been doing that at the start of games quite often. That high press, getting into them, getting into their face, and it worked a treat yesterday because it only took us 56 seconds to get our just rewards. I still had, and as good a season as he is having, I still had that. I'm not sure if he's going to score this from Dessers. But when he rounded the keeper, I thought that was it. It's 1-0, and it just did what Dessers does. It's the post, but Bayrami was there to knock it in, thankfully.
I tell you what, I didn't realise Dessers was so good that he could pass it off the post to Bayrami. I just didn't realise Dessers had that in him, but I mean, what a pass.
It was, what a pass. He saw it, he had a quick look, saw him, said, I can't get that to him in a square ball. Why would I do it easy? Hits it off the post, perfect angle, comes straight to Bayrami's foot, and all he has to do is knock it in the back of the net. But it was the way we started. It's the way we started quite a lot of games recently with doing that press really quickly to get that early goal. And then I was kind of slightly worried that of the recent games, you think the Dundee United game and even the Dundee game for a large part, we got that 1-0 up, and then we just sat back and didn't even attempt anything. That was my worry, that we might try that again. But we were still pushing, and in that first half in particular, we had the best chances. We should have easily been 2 or 3-0 up before we walked in at half time.
I mean, not harping back to a bad result, but we did the same at Parkhead. You know, we started very well there, pressed high, put them under serious pressure, and then sat back. You know, I appreciate you can't press for the entire game, you know, because that just saps energy out of the legs, and it's just virtually impossible. But, you know, when we do it, and, you know, we get a break, as in the defender tried to pass it back to the goalie, and fair play to Dessers again. You know, I've never been his biggest fanboy, but he spotted the guy was planning going back to the goalie and thought, "Ooh, something may be on here," and he anticipated the pass, and fair play to him. He was on to it like a flash, and, you know, great reading from Dessers, and that was all partly due to the press on the right hand side. I think it was Cherney and Lawrence, I think it was. You know, they hassled that left back, and he had no option but to go back to try to go back to the goalkeeper, and, you know, Dessers spotted the danger, and, you know, fair play. Are you on mute?
First booking, yellow card, asshole, shouldn't ever be on mute. But I'll get away with it just this once because I'm doing somebody a favour. Buff Richardson, welcome in to being a YouTube member, my man. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. We appreciate everybody who comes in to be a member at this point. It's good to see you in there and doing that. If you want to, the link for that is either it's in the description somewhere in one way, and there's a join button on there as well. I can never remember which way round it is. But whatever platform you're watching on, have a look and see what's there. I've got to agree with the sniper on this one. For a long time, it's the best full 90-minute performance we've had as a team, probably since the 5-0 game against Hearts last season. Would you agree with that one?
Yeah, totally. I think, again, you're never going to get a complete 100% 90 minutes, but overall, from start to finish in a game, I don't think we've had a better, overall period of a whole game, attacking and, you know, just making the game look easy. I mean, I don't think, if we scored 7 last night, I don't think anybody could have had any complaints or any qualms about the scoreline. I think 7, you know, minimum 5 would have been achievable last night. So no, it was a really good performance. It was just, you know, as I say, from goalkeeper to attacker, we contributed. Everybody contributed in some shape, way, or form, and no, it was really good.
It was overall. And guys, come on, there's 28 likes on this so far this morning. Martin wouldn't be having that. Martin would be all over you. Don't make me become a school teacher. I mean, I've never been a school teacher in my life, but I do teach first aid courses, and I have to tell them off from time to time and confiscate phones. Don't make me come there and be all teachery. Get those likes up. You know how it works. If you get us to 100 fairly quickly, we'll shut up and we won't talk about it. So let's aim for 50 to begin with. Then we'll go to 100, and then 150, and then 200. And if we beat 200, I don't think Martin will ever let me stop doing this on my own ever again. So let's get to 150, eh?
I think as everybody was speaking last night, though, the only negative you could actually say was the finishing.
Yeah,
I think some of the finishing was absolutely abysmal. I mean, it was really. I mean, even you wouldn't expect it in some junior football or Highland League football. It was a really, really poor finishing. Some of the touches and just gilt-edged chances. I mean, it was like one-on-ones. I lost count how many one-on-ones there was. So that's an element that I think the manager said as well that he was really not impressed with, was the finishing. So I mean, you can't really teach finishing. You've either got it or you haven't. It's all confidence. So it's something they're going to have to work on, very quickly, because it's not often in Europe you get that many chances in a game and not lose or not win, fail to win. So we maybe just got out of jail with that one slightly last night.
Yeah, I mean, better opposition, they would probably have punished us, and that's not to say that Malmo are a poor team, because they're obviously not. That's the first time we've ever beat them anyway, and I think you can say that maybe we've had better players go there and lose to this point, because we don't know a lot about the guys we've got. But it was a fantastic night, but could have been so much better. So that is a position I want us to be in every single time we play. Fantastic result, but we could have done more. I think it harps back to the Dick Advocat days. I remember him. We scored 6 or 7 in a game, and he still can make moaning afterwards that we didn't score enough goals. So if that's the only thing we're moaning about at winning and not scoring enough, I'll take it every day of the week. Again, I think we talked about this last night on the post match, saying that Clement did say that October to November is going to be where we see the best of this side coming. You can, for me, I can see things happening on that pitch. I can see the improvements beginning, the partnerships, the players gelling together. Can you see that as well?
Say that again, sorry.
I thought you were away then, weren't you?
I was reading the comments.
He was just drifting off. He was reading the comments. He's just yabbering on about any old stuff. Just on what Donald's saying there, that Clement said, that you see the best of this team. I can see it. I can see little things. So the positivity's there. Are you seeing these things as well, or are you seeing something different?
I'm starting to see things. I think last night was possibly the first time that it's all came. You could kind of say that the mixing bowls all came together nicely. The doughs came out perfectly, as they would say. It's the first sort of element or first game that you could say, well, this is how I can see the patterns. The patterns of play developing. It was just nice to see us actually work as a cohesive unit, and I think a lot of that went down to Bahrami. He almost feels like the sort of glue that's holding that sort of midfield stroke attack together. He's the one that's making things happen. He's the one that's making the bursting runs forward. He's seeing. I mean, some of his passes last night were tremendous. The one that he flicked through to Czerny, that obviously Czerny missed, but I mean, that vision to put it through the fullback and the centre half was just sublime. And he's gonna be a huge. Obviously, everybody knows it, but I mean, I didn't realize till last night how good he was, because it's the first time I've watched him in the flesh, in game. But I mean, he's going to be big for us this year if he can touch wood. If he can stay off the treatment table, unlike others, he'll be a huge player for us.
The one thing I've taken away for the 3 games since we come back from the international break is, if you look back, I know that stats don't tell the 100% of the story of everything, because if you watched that game last night, you would assume that for the large parts of the second half that maybe Malmo were on top and all the rest of it. But if you look at the games versus Dundee United, Dundee, and now Malmo, the opposing team have only had in those 3 games 2 shots on target against us, and that's come from Dundee. Dundee were the only team to get a shot on target in those 3 games. Dundee United didn't do it when we were away to them. Malmo haven't done it when we were away to them. So it seems to me that this defence is now beginning to, defence midfield and all the rest of it, is now beginning to show what they can actually do. They are stopping teams getting shots off, where before we were leaking silly goals.
Yeah, and it's maybe, I'm not saying taking proper a bit of time to settle in, but, he's maybe now getting the understanding with Suter. We've obviously the left back situation has been a bit of an issue in the sense that we've had Ridvan starting there and then getting injured, Jefty coming in, playing well, then getting suspended. So we've had a bit of, the only position that we've really not had anything settled is the left back, in the sense that we've had either injuries, suspensions, having to swap that in and around. But apart from that, the rest has been very good. I mean, Butland could have virtually had a picnic in his 6-yard box yesterday because he had pretty much nothing to do. So yeah, I've always said that the buildings of a good team is a good defense. If you get, I think Souness was the one that he said start from the back and build out. If you start with a good defense and you're difficult to beat, you're always confident at Rangers of scoring. And if you get a defense that's rock solid and not tending to leak silly goals and keeping clean sheets, you'll do well.
And then the last thing on last night, because we've got other things we need to talk about as well. I had a look as well last night to find out why you can't beat Bob. I can't find anything either. When we figure it out, we'll get it sorted and we'll get you back on being able to talk on YouTube and all the rest of it. So we are trying. We'll figure it out. We will figure it out.
I think this is a big one as well, Ian. CGM. Suter has been quite good all season, and he's definitely benefiting from playing on the right side of the two. I mean, I think last season he was, he's obviously a right-sided centre-half, and he was flung in at left centre-half because obviously we had Goldson, who was never getting dropped. And I'm hopefully now everybody's starting to see the Suter that we all hoped he could be. He's now got a centre half next to him who's not too keen on going forward. So Suter's got the sort of license to break out of the defence and make things happen like he likes to do. And I'm kind of hoping now this is going to be the John Suter going forward.
Indeed, I think we all agreed last night that Suter was at least one of the 4 main people for Man of the Match award. I think on the poll last night, if I remember rightly, did Suter take it on the poll last night? I think he did. I was just about to look at Martin's face and then he disappeared. But he did. He's nodding away. He did. It's just to finish this off then, because this was going to be the last thing I was going to bring up on it. Casemiro, of course, I'm just going to call him Big Dave for the remainder of the season. That's what's going on. Or Casa, as Martin coined him last night. A very impressive performance on the side that he has. I don't think he's played in all that often. I think he has played there before, but it's like 1 or 2 games. Normally a right-sided defender or a centre-half. Has he put himself into the manager's thinking for taking that right-back berth, or do you think he is there to fill the gap should Tav get injured or need to come off when games are won?
Let's be honest here. Who genuinely thinks the manager is going to drop Tav? It's not going to happen, is it?
In a minute, don't worry.
It's just not going to happen. So, I mean, I know everybody wishes that, and I think it's maybe a thing for maybe next season, or if something happens in January, or that's the only way I can see the young lad coming in. Tav's here to stay. As we were going to speak about Ian, he said it last night. He's going, he said in his post-match, he's going nowhere. He's got things to do here. He's wanting to stay. So, unfortunately, folks, Tav's going nowhere, and he's the captain of the club. So I'm afraid he'll not. There's no signs of anything imminent moving as far as dislodging Tav or somebody else taking this position according to either the manager or Tav.
Yeah, no manager has dropped him, so I don't know if this one is going to do it. He hasn't shown any signs of doing it. I know he took him off against Dundee, but the game was won and to bring on Casemiro at the time. But I don't. I mean, I agree. I don't think he's done it. And Tav has been on Sky again this morning, which we will talk about in a minute, because he has been speaking to Sky Sports as well, from what I understand.
He does need rotated. Comment.
He does need rotated. You're quite right. I've just seen that one. Great minds think alike. So I was just about to hit it, and then you hit it. So I'm glad I didn't do it at the same time to bring it on, brought it off. But yeah, he does. It does need rotated because he's lost it. He's lost a bit. There are games that we can do it for. The Dundee game in itself would have probably been a good one to rotate him out.
Yeah.
But he was never going to miss last night. He's too big a figure, and I think in Europe he can kind of although he will get punished. I mean, some of the stuff he did last night, he would get punished. But, I mean, I watched the Spurs game after the Rangers game last night, and Karabag gave him a game. If Karabag could finish, they would have been 4 or 5-1 up at halftime themselves. So, but it just goes to show there's no easy rides in any game in Europe. And it doesn't matter who you are. But, yeah, Tav could do with getting rotated out. But we will come back to Tav in a minute. I'm just going to go through some of these dream jobs because we've had a fair few come in. The Sniper has come back in again. His dream job, a pro wrestler.
No surprise there.
Which brand he would want to go to, I'm not entirely sure. But
I know it never used to be a case of which brand. It was just WWF. But now there's
now there's loads.
So
there's always been loads. There's just not been that many on the telly.
Yeah,
so the independent scene's always been there, but the big one was always the WWE, what was formerly known as the WWF. But now you have AEW, you've got TNA, you've got
Impact.
Ring of Honor, you've got all sorts going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I could quite happily sit and talk about wrestling for an hour on its own. It's fine. I'm a bit sad like that. But it would be the WWE for him. But then again, you get to the WWE, which brand there? So we're all SmackDown. See, this conversation goes on. This, this one, James Cameron's doing his dream job. He's a carer for his young nephew. So fair play to you for that. That takes a lot of patience and skill and the want to actually do it. So fair play to you for that one.
I get that job.
Mel, you're going to wish you never put it up because it was starred for us to put up. That's what she wants to do. That's the dream job. And there's a lot of money in it, from what I'm told.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then we've got best job was when I was a salesman and spent all day going around seeing friends. Well, yeah, why not? Take advantage of the situation. So a lot of people have got a caring nature on our side. Look, dream job, rehoming abandoned dogs and making a difference to them. Who knew we had such kind, caring people in our subscription? Superb.
Exactly.
And then Jane Cameron came back in again, though. Slight change. He's gone from caring now to shutting down everything and getting rid of it. But only Brian survives as the Justice Minister.
I survived this the cull and the ministry, so that's fine.
And then I'm on board with this one from Ian Lamb. I'm on board with this one. The food critic that all the grub for nothing, what's not to like. I'm on board with that.
That is a good one.
That is it. So we'll talk about Tav a little bit more because he has been on. Don't forget though, if anybody else has got a dream job that they want to do, just knock it down in the comments. If we see it, we'll star it, we'll get it in, and we can have a little look. Ian Barron, I can't really answer that question. Oh, and the phone lines are now open. You can see the number scrolling down on the bottom of the screen. If you want to come in and chat to us and tell us how badly we're doing today without Martin, you can on 0141 628 7237. Get your calls in and we will have a little chat and see how that goes, because I'm pretty sure our internet will be able to handle it. I'm laughing because I'm seeing gestures in the background. So I'd say Tav had been on Sky Sports. Good job. This is like nobody else is watching this stuff, eh? Is that the CBD oil? I mean, I wouldn't know where to begin. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't even know what cannabis is. Never been to Amsterdam in my life. So he was on Sky Sports talking, and I've seen the little clip that I was sent this morning of Tav talking on there, saying that he understands the frustration post the Celtic game, the defeat there. and he understands the anger and all the rest of it from fans. But he said on there that he's going nowhere. He's still got a lot to do and a lot to succeed with at Rangers, and he's not going to go anywhere. He's staying. It doesn't sound to me that the captain had any plans whatsoever to leave this club and head off for pastures new come January or in the summer. By the sounds of it, it looks like he wants to stay. But from what he's saying, it sounds to me that this is the club he wants to finish his career at. I don't see him leaving.
No, as I said earlier, he's made it abundant. He's never openly said that he wants to leave. I think there's been whispers that he's suggested it. It's all been ifs, ifs, buts, and maybes, but it's never been anything. I'm wanting to leave. Let me go. I think he did take a momentary huff when his mate Goldson left. I'll stand by that all day. I think he definitely took a little cream puff when his mate left, and he was left on his own. But he seems to have, knuckled down. Obviously, when the window shuts, he's got no option then, really. But the thing he's got to remember as well is, right, he's got the job that pretty much every Rangers fan would walk over broken glass for. Captain of the club. He's got the job that everybody would love. And let's be honest, there's not been a whole long list of Rangers captains in the sense that you're the nailed on captain. We've had over the years steady captains. We've never had to jig and change captains very often. If you go through the years, you had Lee McCulloch in the banter years. You had before that it was who was it? David Weir. Before that it was Barry Ferguson, Lorenzo Amoruso, Richard Gough, then John Gregg before that. So, we've always had steady captains, and he's got the job that everybody would love to be at Rangers.
Gavin Ray.
Best captain ever.
Yes. I'm just bypassing that one. It's ridiculous. But, he has got the job that every Rangers fan would love to be as the captain. And it's very difficult to go from the adulation and, obviously there's criticism there, but, he's got a job that we'd all love.
Yeah, he does. He does indeed. I wasn't expecting you to just finish there. I thought you had more to say.
Sorry.
But yeah, he has got the job that we all want. And hopefully his season starts to turn around now, and he starts to be the Tav that we all know. I don't think he's ever going to be the Tav of 3 years ago that was terrorizing pretty much every defense in Europe or anything like that. But hopefully he can get his form back at least, and the defending side of it comes back in nicely. So where should we go now? What were we going to talk about? I know we talked about this beforehand, and we are going to quickly talk about the weekend in a minute. But that's where it was. I remember now. The good news that broke yesterday that Ibrox will now be fully opened and everybody can come back to the game. So the Copeland is going to be fully reopened. Everyone's going to be able to come in, and we can have a full house for the game against Hibs. So that's a massive positive. Oh, hang on. Not sure about the dream jobs. Fair question for people watching on YouTube on Friday morning when they're meant to be working. But maybe they've got the dream job that they can watch YouTube. Maybe they all work for YouTube. Who knows? We've never asked that question. But before you answer that, Brian, we've gone from 50 up to 64. So that's still not 100.
No.
I mean, I'm going to be more blunt than Martin. Martin's quite nice when he says, let's get us to 100 and then we'll stop talking. 64 likes. It's poor. Let's keep going. I want more. I'm greedy. All right. If you ever were to watch me on the other things that I do, I am very greedy. I keep asking for more, and I will keep doing that. So the only way to shut us up, as Martin has said before, is if you come on, all smacking 100 likes straight away. We don't talk about it. Simple as that. So Saturday, Sunday. With Hibs coming back. Absolutely great news to have a full Ibrox open again, and hopefully a full house for the Hibs game.
Absolutely, and I think the place will be absolutely jumping because everybody's back in situ, back in their seats. I think it's going to be interesting in the sense that I think Hibs were sort of banking that we wouldn't be back there, and things were going to be a little bit easier for them. But I don't think Hibs were banking on us being back and fully operational by this game. I think that'll certainly play in our favour, and it'll act as a 12th man, because everybody will be buzzing. The supporters' buses will all be piling in, back to their usual spots, back to their usual haunts. Everybody will be going back to the pubs that they like to go to and meet their mates, and everybody be back just to, back to where they like to be. So it'll be like natural orders just resumed. So everybody just be happy, and I think Hibs will maybe find it a little bit hard on Sunday, just with the energy coming out of the fans, and the way obviously with the European result as well. So I think Hibs might find it a little bit tough. Cammy, yeah, I did see as well, Cammy, that the tickets are selling out fast. So if anybody hasn't got a ticket, they did put a tweet out or a message on their Twitter saying that there is tickets available, but I would imagine, as Cammy's just saying, that the tickets are selling fast. So if you're wanting a ticket for Sunday, you better go on it quick.
I mean, I'm going to be on it quick, and I'm not coming up until October. So I'm going to be primed and ready for those tickets, because I'd imagine even then they're going to start flying off whatever's remaining. So I'll be eyes to the board for that one. Don't forget, you can get your calls in. The number's there at the bottom. It's going through. We're waiting for someone to come and talk to us, because we do like you lot to come in, especially now that we know that Ibrox is open. Surely you've got something to say on that. Anything you've got to say about last night, anything you've got to say about coming on Sunday, or absolutely anything else, even if it's to call us and tell us what your dream job is instead of putting it in chat. You do whatever you need to do. You just call that number and we'll have a little chat on while we're live for as long as we are. More dream jobs, Brian, we've gotten through. CGM, this one was start. I think Martin's having some fun back there starring some of these, because he's saying he wouldn't mind driving.
It's great. I'm doing a few.
I don't know if this was a Martin one or a you one then, because he said he wouldn't mind doing the taxi for those grown-up videos that someone told him about, because he's never seen them. Honest. Well, we believe you. Thousands wouldn't. Then you've got Andrew Lamb would be a pilot of a long-range commercial jet. I don't know if I'd want to do that. That's a lot of responsibility, that. I don't know if I could. I mean, I don't like flying anyway, so definitely wouldn't be in the front seat driving the thing.
A travel guy and you don't like flying?
I'd like to send people on holiday. I just don't like flying. I'll fly. I just don't like flying. I'd rather go by boat. I'm more of an advocate of a cruise.
A cruise, all right, okay.
Yeah, because you get to sail everywhere and then wake up in a different place every day. Well, that's gotta be good, isn't it? Yeah. Pro golfer, is that up your street as well, Brian? You play golf, don't you?
It was once upon a time, but no. It came to the realization that I think it was a few years ago when Wolf was doing the Get to Know You pods, with all the different people on the podcast, that I came up against a certain Rory McIlroy, and I realized that, well, he's 10 years younger than me, and he's light years ahead of me, and I was like, nope, not for me. Now's
the time to stop. We've all been there. That's when I stopped playing FC24 on the PlayStation, because my 8-year-old beat me 6-2. I was like, right, that's enough of that. Are we in the making for a Rangers Rabble chairman?
We've got a challenger to the ownership.
Hostile takeover imminent.
Hostile takeover. There's a coup in progress.
Yeah, and someone
packet of salt and vinegar, right? Bottle of Ribena and a Snickers Duo, and he can have it.
Oh, cheap.
Although I'm not sure on the Ribena. I don't know.
Oh, love Ribena.
More of what now?
Martin, would you have it both hot or cold, or is it just one or the other?
Freezing cold.
Not hot at all, no?
Stop making me come back in. No, freezing cold.
My wife would be the hot. She likes hot Ribena when she's not well. So that's when she goes for the hot Ribena. And then Ian Barron coming in again. Dream job would be testing beds, because he spends a lot of time in them due to his long COVID symptoms. if I could get to stay in bed for longer than 6 hours, it would be lovely. But I have 2 small children who don't allow that to happen. So as soon as they're up, I'm up. Again, the wife's still in bed. Just I've got to get up. It's how that works, apparently. What's he saying to me now? Oh, I've just been told by Martin that we have a CEO and sponsors Q&A at 6 p.m. tonight on the Rangers Rabble. So for those of you who are of that level, you can get your questions in for that tonight already, or just tune in and then ask the questions while it's on. And if you aren't at that level and you want to be, you can feel free to jump down and upgrade your level of membership if you want to. Ribena should not be hot. Maniacs. I don't drink the stuff. I don't even like the stuff. But Brian and the wife do. But
sometimes
yeah,
nice on a cold night.
So's tea. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a tea drinker. So yeah, if you want to get your questions in, go ahead and do that. Or tune in tonight to get your questions in. And if you want to up your sponsorship so you can get into there for go ahead and do that as well. We wouldn't say no. We'll always be happy. So we'll carry on because we are going to get into the weekend's game as well. Then, what are we expecting from the weekend? Now we've got a bit of momentum, and the players are probably a little bit happier in the way things are going. What are we expecting for Sunday? Do you see changes? Do you see a lot of changes, or do you see him going with what he started with last night and just carrying on that momentum?
It's a difficult one. I would imagine Jeffrey will come back into left back, unfortunately, because that'll mean that the young lad will probably drop out, which is a bit harsh after you keep a clean sheet away in Europe. But I'd imagine Jeffrey will come back in. Apart from that, is there really any need to change anything else? Would you maybe give Iganami a start up top and give Dessers a wee break? I don't know. I would imagine there's only maybe 1 or 2 changes. I can't really see why. See, this is another one that gets me. I mean, unless people are like physically showing signs of fatigue or, struggling, play as much as you can. Keep as much of the 11 together as much as you can. I mean, I appreciate that. I would even put the young lad to right back and give Tav a break and put Jeffrey left back, something like that. But I know it won't happen. But it's something that's got to be taken into consideration by the manager that, we've got to start picking games that guys drop out and, have a rest, because there's an awful lot of games this season. We don't know how far we don't know how far we're going to go in Europe purely because of this new format.
Yeah.
We know we've got a minimum of 8 games. Beyond that, we don't know. We don't know if we'll get to the top 8 in that the Europa League setup. We get to the top 8, you miss out in the playoff and you go straight into the last 16. So you've got the cup runs as well. It's the manager's got to be more mindful on players' sort of rotations and picking the games wisely to give guys a rest. And Tav can't play every game. There's just no way. He's physically not there. You've got to pick the moments where you identify games and say, right, Tav's got to play in that game. He's got to play in that game. He's got to play in that game. There's got to be games in the season where you can rotate people. And that's the same for Dessers. With Iganami, pick relevant games that you feel that you can, like, say at home to St Johnstone, for example, right? If you can't drop Tav and Dessers for a game like that, then we're really up shit's creek. That's the sort of games that you should be identifying and saying, right, this is the games that we're going to drop you just for pure rest. If there's the run up to a European game, for example, think about that. But we've got to watch and not burn out players, because we fell foul of that before with Morelos when we overplayed him and then he got injured and pretty much didn't see him again.
We all know that we had the opportunity to cash in on that man as well. We didn't, so that's hopefully things of that nature are a thing that's done and gone, and we're not going to be worried about that anymore. But yeah, I completely get what you're saying there. We are up to currently 82 likes on YouTube, so we are nearly there. We're not far off. You get me to that 100, and I will stop asking. I will stop talking about likes. How's that? Is that a deal for you? You get to 100, and I'll stop asking. So Raskin or Dio, for Dio or Baron, they need a rest. I do think that Dio was on the bench in the game previous against Dundee, was he not? And so he's had a little bit of a rest. So would you? I mean, I don't see him taking Baron out of the squad, but do you see Raskin coming in for either of them?
Again, there's merit in that idea, because obviously they obviously put in a good shift last night, the guys. So it's not out with the realms of possibility that one of them come out and Raskin comes in, because Raskin's needing minutes. Either get the game won early doors and take Raskin on for 45. We start off well and get a couple of goals up, take Raskin on for the second half. It's all about just managing the guys properly and making sure that everybody is 100% fit and not struggling and I'll play, but I'm not really fit, or I'm tired, but I'll play. A lot of guys have got to take personal responsibility and put the team first and say, look, boss, last night took a lot out of me. I'm maybe over the last few weeks I've played every 90. I'm maybe just needing a little break out of the team. So there's an element of mostly the manager, but part player.
Yeah, so there's a bit of concern for your cat, Brian. We want to know who said on it.
It's always when I'm doing this, she wants to sit in my lap and she purrs like an abs. She just purrs and purrs right into the microphone. So it's not very, good. So, but any other time I'm sitting here, she just sort of glowers and sits beside me, but never on me. But today she's wanting to sit in my lap when I'm doing this.
Well, maybe she wants the chairman role for the Rabble. That's when she popped up. They're talking about chairman, and then in she comes. Yeah, that sounds like a job for me. But we all know what pets can be like. The minute you try and do something, whether it's this or whether it's wrapping paper or anything like that, they just come and sit square in the middle of everything, so that you have to pay them attention. We know what it's like. And one day I'll get my pet. I'm trying to convince the wife to get a dog. She doesn't want a dog. I want a dog, so we've compromised and not got a dog. So there you go. Chairman Meow. Liking that one? Let's start like we had cat jokes now. I know. I think we have to do it. Going back into Sunday as well, then. I know that we've talked about Yefte coming back in, but Beatbot Boot coming back in saying, can you really drop Casa though? Not after that performance. Is there a scope to, because of Cortez being out, that we could move maybe Yefte up one and play Casa at left back and have Yefte on the left hand side of midfield, or do you just see Yefte coming back in?
Can I answer that?
If you want.
Sorry, because there's nobody phoning. 01416287237.
Martin's lovely.
If you want to get your calls in, we've got about another 10 minutes left of the show. No, I want Casa played in his position at right back. I don't want another Dujon Sterling incident where we start playing him at left back. Hefty comes back in, starts playing left wing. He's playing out of position, and then Cortez comes back, and then what does the manager do? And the whole time we're all talking about how much Tav needs a break. No, I want the boy either played at right centre back or right back where he's supposed to play. He showed last night that he's good enough to come in and do a job at left back, which isn't his natural position. So how good's he going to be in that right back berth? We need to start playing players in their position, and we need to start playing players who are better than others who can't seem to get shifted out the first.
Do you honestly see Casa getting the nod ahead of Tav tomorrow, though, Martin?
Personally, I think the supporters would have a lot more respect for the manager if he done that. I don't see it happening. I see Tav staying. I see Tav playing in right back. But I think if we line up against Hibs with Casa at right back, and then if he goes on to have a stinker, he goes on to have a stinker. But regardless, if we start him at right back, Yefte at left back, and the manager goes on and does stuff like that, I think every supporter to a man goes, whether it works or it doesn't, fair play, respect. We can see what you're trying to do. We can see what you're trying to build. And I'm not necessarily saying that Casa has to come in and play every game at right back, but the manager just has to show the supporters that he's willing to play a player who's come in and showed promise and play him in his actual proper position. That's all I want to see.
Yeah, that's fair comment. As I say, I think everybody would love to see Casa coming out right back in and Jeffrey coming out left back, but we all know the realities of Rangers just now, and Tav's just not going to get dropped. I'm afraid it's just, and this goes back to my point about rotation. It'd be an ideal sort of game to sort of rotate. I mean, Hibs have only won 1 in 5, I believe, so they're not exactly on a great run. I think we're in the league. They're 9th in the league. They've only won 1, drew 2, lost 2, so they're not exactly on a run of anything great form wise. Wouldn't be the worst thing to drop Tav and play Casa at right back. I mean, we're playing at home. The place will be buzzing. So
you see, that's where I think this is why I don't think Tav will get dropped for Sunday, because Ibrox is getting reopened. I think that plays a factor in Tav getting a start. I might be wrong, but I think that plays a factor in Tav getting the start.
And you've got the 125th anniversary of Ibrox as well, so that throws into the equation. So that just throws cold water over the Casa starting even more, which, unfortunately,
I'm sorry, I can't have that. I don't care.
No, I don't care either, but that's the way it works.
It's the 200th anniversary. We are trying to compete for a league title, so pick the best players.
Absolutely, I totally agree, Martin, but that's
only
the
my
sort
opinion.
of element.
Only the opinion. I think that's the possibility of what could happen, just because of what it is, and he is the captain and been the captain for so long. But again, come Sunday at the hour before kickoff, when the team's announced, we could all be proven wrong, and he's not in the team. So we'll just have to wait and see. CGM's putting his team out early. He doesn't want to do the tactics thing. He just wants to let everybody know this is our team for the weekend. So he's going Butland, Casa, Suter, Proper, Yefte, Raskin, Baron, Dow, Bayrami, Cherny, Dessers. Dowell is a curveball, but I don't think Lawrence can play 2 games in a week. Well, I don't know. We'll come on to Lawrence in a second before we go, but that's a fairly decent team. I would like to see Bayrami playing that number 10 role, though, if Lawrence isn't going to be starting.
Very much so. I think Bayrami he's got the ability to play the left side or the central, but I think his natural position is the 10. He just looks so comfortable in there. He's tricky. He can see a pass. He loves a shot. I mean, I love that stinger of a shot he had from outside the box last night. That's exactly what you're wanting. A bit of dip in it. Power. That's the sort of number 10 you really want. Somebody who can see a pass. Pick out a player, but is not scared to have a pop from 20 yards. That's the sort of 10 that's just ideal.
But Kieran Dow, when he did come back in, he did play quite well. So I can see that happening. I can see the manager. He seems to like Dow. But again, I would like to see Bayrami in that number 10 for the reasons that you've given. And he's already shown us a little bit here and there that he can do that. I am 5 likes away from my 100 target. So let's see if we can make that final push. 129 watching. So 5 of you must want to like this show. So go for it. I mean, I don't know why, but I'm not getting the option when I go on there to actually like it. So I can't like it. I don't know why. So I can't be one of them. Otherwise, I would be. So let's try and get those last 5 in before we go. And while we were on the subject of Lawrence, let's go. This one. Is there any news on Lawrence after going off last night, or was it just precautionary? I didn't actually hear anything from the manager last night after the game. And I watched the highlight show after as well, and I didn't see him up on that, but there's a possibility that I fell asleep. But I've not heard any news coming out that he's out. I've not heard anything from the manager. I've not seen anything on X today or any news coming out. The only thing I've seen is that Tav thing. You heard anything?
No, not a thing. No. I would imagine it was precautionary. I think somebody suggested it was cramp. I'm kind of hoping that's what it is, but haven't heard anything concrete to say that he's injured or struggling. So when's the
He's back again.
We've just got some breaking news.
Just in it.
Yeah, John Moss is no longer head of VAR in Scotland. He's quit as VAR chief. Listen, the phone lines are closed, folks. Obviously, no phone calls today, but the phone lines will be back open on Monday. But John Moss has quit as VAR chief. Brian,
Where do you go from here?
one
You've got
month.
a guy that was in the EPL for a good number of years, came into Scotland as the VAR chief, and he's quit already. I mean, it kind of just sums up Scotland, doesn't it?
I'm going to go on and say that this is because a certain new leader of the VAR in Scotland, or new leader of the referees in Scotland, likes to be the show.
Correct.
And with John Moss there, he can't be the show. So Moss is, I don't know if there's been some things in the background and he's gone, "You're on mute, Martin."
Shocking behaviour. I'm not long out of my bed. I was having a long lie this morning. Do you think, Ian, that Willie Collum will take up that role along with his head of referee?
Absolutely. Of course he will. Because it's all about Willie Collum. Hence, why do you think we've now got a VAR review that Willie Collum can go on and be on some sort of platform to talk?
I know, see if you actually think about it, that should be John Moss on that, shouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. He's head of VAR. He should be there. But he's not. Well, what he was, he's not anymore. But yeah, it's not. It's shocking, but it's not a shock, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. This is a slippery slope, I'm afraid.
And unfortunately, Gallant, that's not how it works. No, that's not a comment. That's not a comment. Where was it? Breaking news. There it's there. Means we need to stay on for another hour. I think Brian and Ian would probably knock me out.
Other breaking news, though. Other breaking news that we have actually broke that 100 like target. We're 102. So well done. Thank you very much for getting us there. We didn't want too good a job because you'll have me doing this all the time otherwise.
I thought Ian, that you were a wee bit too nice with the whole likes thing. If it was me, it would be like, right, folks, what's happening? What's going on? Get the likes in. What's going on?
Yeah, but it's your channel. I'm just here to facilitate stuff. But
it's all our channel, Ian.
I'm not taking responsibility. I'm not doing it. I don't like responsibility.
Since the Rabble has went full time, Ian, the people who tune in and watch are our boss. It's their channel, not ours.
Yeah, well, yeah. So in that case, we shouldn't be telling our boss to like.
Well, it's nice when a boss likes you, isn't it?
It is nice when a boss likes you. It is.
Going back to the VAR chat, though, is that not a bad indictment on the state of Scottish refereeing when an EPL guy comes in and leaves within a matter of weeks?
But do we expect any different in this country? He's probably come in with ideas to make it better. And the people at the top have went, "Oh, no, well, progress. We don't like progress in this country." Absolutely not.
Give a decision against Celtic at Parkhead. Ho, steady on, mate. Here. Wow, slow down. We can't do that.
Yeah, there's the clip.
Maybe he's left because we've not had enough penalties this season. I don't know. That was a joke for supporters of other clubs. That was what you call sarcasm. Like we all know.
It's pure when a guy has to do that. I'm afraid and you've got a guy who's been in the EPL for such a long time, comes in and doesn't stick at a job in Scotland for any length of time. It's a worrying sign.
I mean, in fairness, actually, I've heard that Peter Lawwell has probably put his name in the hat, but he would probably do a good job at that, wouldn't he?
Well, some would say he's already got the job, but that's not for me. I don't know if any of you got anything else to talk about, but I'm out. That's all I had about.
No, that's the hour up. That's the hour up. I just want to say a big, massive thank you to everybody who tunes in. The response that we've had since going full time has been incredible. I know that we're putting out a lot of content now, and because we focus on one club most of the time, I don't want to oversaturate the same conversations over and over and over again. That can be difficult when you're putting out 5 morning shows a week, you're putting out 2 nightly shows a week, and then we're putting out about another 4 or 5 members shows a week on top of that, which will only continue to grow as the members continue to grow. We are like, I want to say 5 away from 200 members. So the first target's 200, and then we'll go for 300, and then 400, and we'll try and grow this into the biggest Rangers channel on YouTube, which is difficult, which is tough, but that's what our aims are. That's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to make the morning shows better, different, have more guests on, have different segments, and I can only do that with your support. So if you enjoy it, then please do like and subscribe. I know I make a joke about the likes all the time, but they are so important to what we are trying to do. The memberships are even more important because that's what's going to keep the Rabble going. That's going to allow me to do things in the background that with a full-time job is just absolutely impossible, as Ian and Brian will tell you. We're doing the watch-alongs now for members. We've got the weekly members show. We've got Q&As. I'm going to add all sorts of stuff. We're going to do Scottish Football Show Extra. We're going to do EPL shows. We're going to do Rangers History shows. We're going to do tactics shows. We're going to do all sorts, loads of stuff. But in order for us to be able to do that, we need your support, which is why I continuously go on about it, because it is so, so important. So I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everybody who tuned in, to everybody, to some of the members as well who are helping me behind the scenes. Incredible, incredible support, and it will certainly not be forgotten.
Indeed, I concur. Every single thing he said.
And we've got a wee birthday announcement as well on the Rabble.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And actually, the birthday announcement was given to this person by a Rangers player as well, Brian.
Correct. Car, our very own Car from the women's show. It's her birthday today, so happy birthday to Car. And she got a personalised happy birthday from the vet. None other. I mean, who else could it have been? Laura Berry. Laura Berry wished her a happy birthday. I mean, how much better could life get for her, Car? So happy birthday.
I can't believe Car's only turned 22.
There you go.
She looks about 18.
Exactly.
I'm just trying to be nice, so she'll do loads of more women's shows.
When you're speaking about female birthdays, you've got to tread very carefully.
Oh, yes, you do, because Car may be small, but she's ferocious. So I wouldn't want to go one-on-one.
None of us said anything when you said that she's only 22, and the rest of the week, not getting involved in that conversation.
No, I'm leaving it right there. I'm not. Do I spend 28 minutes just talking about Lennon Miller? I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure this boy comes to Ibrox.
I would love to, but I've got somewhere I need to be. So we all know.
Is it more important, Ian, than Lennon Miller?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. We shall leave it there, folks. Like I say, Q&A tonight for Rabble CEO and sponsorship members at 6 p.m. on the Rabble's membership page. And then we're back tonight at 7:30 for your Friday night Rabble. And then we've got a random Rabble for members on Saturday. And we have, obviously, the watch-along for members on Sunday. And then we will be back with full match reaction on the normal public YouTube channel on Sunday, and then we do it all over again next week before your morning Rabbles member shows, Monday night, Friday night shows, and that I will be sending him a Valentine's card in December, just to make sure that he knows. I mean, he literally plays for a club that stays 5 minutes away from me, so I might just start attending Motherwell games with a big banner. I won't tell you what. But listen, folks, thank you so much. Thank you to Ian and Brian for hosting today and giving me a slight break. But you know me, I can't help myself. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Ian. Thank you, Brian. And we'll speak to you all very, very soon.